select any one of these text boxes, or I believe you can select several at a time and affect them as well. The fastest way I found to get into the area, the menu, is to double click the border, and this will bring up your format text box. Now, we've talked about the colors and lines, we've talked about sizes, and now we can talk a little bit about layout, okay, as far as how it fits on the page, how it gets along with other things. So you can do this, but to be honest, I find it much easier to just move it where it is you'd like to move it. Wrapping style deals with how it will get along with pictures or any kind of graphic or clip art. Okay, so here it will determine how it gets along with those kind of things, or how you're trying to wrap it around text that may not be in a text box. However, that's not going to happen that often. I want to get right here to text box, and I want to talk about the alignment of the text within your text box. By default, it starts at the top and works its way down. However, you can choose to have it centered instead, and then you can have it hit OK. So now all of this text is centered inside the text box. If I hit undo, you'll see that everything's back up to the top. And to get back to that menu, again, I like to double click just on the border, and that allows me to go there. And here it's giving me what my margins are. I don't know that you're going to want to mess with that, but if you want to make the distance between your text and the actual boundaries, you can do that if you wanted to. You can rotate the text inside of your auto shape as well. All right, so you can have it 90 degrees, so you can have it sideways if you wanted to. If it goes on to another page, you can have the words included, continue to on page dot 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 to go down there. If you want to break a specific text box into multiple columns, you're able to do that. So here, instead of having 3 separate text boxes, I can have one, and then I can have it in 3 columns within that text box. So those are all very interesting features that are available to you. Another feature that we find a lot, especially in newsletters such as this one, is the ability to have a drop cap to start a paragraph. And you would find that in format. And from here you have many features, one of which of course being the drop cap feature. And you can try them and see how they work out for you, and then hit apply. And of course, if it ends up not looking very good, you can always undo. You've also got the ability, of course, to align things horizontally, as you do in a lot of other programs. So most of you probably already know that you've got the ability to right align, to center, okay, or to justify. And you can select, I believe you can select the entire placeholder and justify. No, I'm not able to do that. So you'll have to select all of your paragraphs within that placeholder and then ask for justify. I find it odd that I can't select the entire placeholder and just have it affect the whole thing, but that's the way it is. You can affect the spacing, the line spacing inside as well. Now by default, this is what we're getting. We're getting this kind of points before and after, and we're getting 1.21 spacing inside. So you of course have the ability to change that at any time. If it doesn't suit your eye, or if it doesn't suit your need, you would just come in here and say, okay, I don't want these default settings, and I only want, let's say, 1 here, and then I can hit OK. So now I've just changed those settings for this particular area. When you're dealing with something like a newsletter, you may run into situations where you have extra room, or you're running out of room, and you have many options available to you. One of them being the size of the fonts, of course. The other is the ability to change the spacing between your characters. I'm going to select this area here, and maybe what I'll do is I'll just stretch these placeholders. So let's say I've got a situation here where I've got a lot of extra room. I don't really have any logos, right? This is going to be an exaggerated case. So now I can go to Format, Character Spacing, and I can say I want the spacing to be stretched, and then I can hit Apply here. And you can see in the background already that I'm already taking up an awful lot more room. So just by changing the spacing between my characters and my text, I was able to take up more room without actually changing the font size. And that at any time, just don't forget that if any of your changes that you've made, end up not looking good, or you're not happy with them, just refer back to your undo, and then you can add clip art, you can add whatever. So a lot of different little ways of affecting the text. Very many of them that you might have seen in Word or PowerPoint are still available to you here. The ability to change your font from the formatting menu, the ability to increase your fonts by one size at a time, still very popular, okay, or down by one size at a time. So the formatting toolbar, very similar to what we've seen in Microsoft Word and PowerPoint.